from 1970. Here's the Masterworks M-404 cassette recorder. It's a product of CBS, Columbia Records. We have our mandatory 1970-ish wood grain, volume dial, record button, function switch, rewind, stop, play, and fast forward, automatic level control, more fancy wood grain. On the left side, nothing. We do have a handle here. Nothing around the back. On the right side, we have our AC plug, or jack, excuse me. Underneath, Masterwork M-404 for C-cells, product of Columbia Records, made in Japan. Access screws for getting inside, and our battery holder. And up front we have our mic and remote, aux jack, and earphone jack. And I think I mentioned the handle. Let's look at some of the other stuff that was with it when I got it. Came in this nice big box it was originally shipped in. And what's that? August 18th, 1970. If I'm reading that right, that cost 68 cents to ship UPS. Now here this one says CBS Records. Other places it says Columbia Records, which I guess is the same thing. Even has the little string containment there. And it has one of these little glossy vinyl, cardboardish, fake leather carrying cases, made in Japan. This is where the microphone was stored at, I originally figured out. And there is some mark there on those button snaps that might be a manufacturer's mark. I never have figured out who made this, but I can't quite make those out. What I do make out doesn't make sense. Maybe someone out there can give me an idea what some of those might mean. So we had the nice case. There was also a tape in it at the time. It has just nonsense on it. Kids recording some old music. Nothing special. And also stuffed in the box was this. Now I've put these batteries in here. These little slots were empty, of course, just to show that you did get batteries with it when you got it. You got its mic stand. You've got your AC cord and the little standard earphone plug there. Made in Japan. And we have some more paperwork here. Read some of that. When it was shipped. Doesn't give a list of price though. Don't know what this cost, but I know the terms. What else? We have our little packet of authorized service facilities and the service terms, your warranty terms, and your instructions. Pretty standard. You can pause your screen if you really want to read those. Here's some of the more interesting specifics. AC bias, DC erase, frequency response is terrible, 250 to 6,000 hertz. Signal to noise more than 35 dB. Such and such and such and such. And a schematic. It's kind of always nice to see those. Not something you get anymore. And like here it says Columbia Records, not CBS. Same thing, I guess. So it came with a full assortment of things. Alright, from this angle you can see inside the cassette well and see the tape heads, the capstan, and the small 2-inch speaker. When I got this, there actually were some old batteries in it, and that little tape I showed earlier, and it played a little, but it was off speed and it didn't fast forward or rewind, so I knew it needed a belt change. So I opened it up and did that, and I got some video of the insides while I was doing that, so we'll stop and insert that inside footage here. This thing's going to need a belt change to operate right. It operates a little, but off speed, and there's no reverse. Let's see if I can get a new belt on here. Well, there's the old belt. It's a mess. Got the new belt on there. It's kind of tight. It was a little small. I didn't have one that was a perfect size. Fast forward, play, reverse, I think. Yeah, rewind. Let's say we're good. Alright, I've got the thrust plate back on. Not a lot to see from this angle. Really no idea who made this, except I know it was made in Japan. Alright, let's see if we can see what works and how. Play. Let's fast forward. Stop. And rewind. Let's see the little switch moving there. Stop. Reverse. All right, let's listen to a pre-recorded tape. Second time I've tried this. Started it the first time and my batteries died, and I don't have any extras, so I had to switch to AC. So the belt change worked right. forget, let's use the little Radio Shack mini amplifier speaker. Plug it into the earphone jack here. Let's see what this sounds like. I haven't tried this yet. Loud. All I can tell from that is that the jack works. And I think a lot of these old cassette recorders, and most devices anyway, if you were running them on batteries, it suggested you use the earphone jack because it took less power to power the jack than it did to power the speaker. Alright, well, that function works. Let's try recording from a music source. Give me a minute to set this up. Alright, I've got the Zune HD in. Plug into the aux jack. Record and play. We'll see if we get anything. What it sounds like. This is automatic level control, so I can't control it. Let it play for a few seconds. Seems like the sun's coming out and washing everything out. Alright, we'll stop. We'll rewind. There's no counter on this.
The iron gate, down that lilac tree trail to my car, and emotions came over me like a sea under an Antarctic ammonia.
Antarctic moon. Something else on that tape.
Made it past the iron gate, down that lilac tree trail to my car, and emotions came over me like a sea under an Antarctic ammonia.
Better. But the old machine still works. Alright, this machine does not have an included internal microphone, so we're going to make a voice recording using the included external mic. See how that sounds. Alright, I'm using an external mic with the Masterwork 404 cassette recorder from 1970, CBS or Columbia Records. Fairly cheap unit, I think, and I don't know who made it. Not very good frequency response. It does have automatic level control. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But it's got the standard 1970 wood grain you would expect. And it does seem to have all the working functions once I did a belt change. Let's rewind this and see what it sounds like. I'm using an external mic with the Masterwork 404 cassette recorder from 1970, CBS or Columbia Records. A fairly cheap unit, I think. I don't know who made it. Not very good frequency response. It does have automatic level control. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But it's got the standard 1970 wood grain you would expect. And it does seem to have all the working functions once I did a belt change. Let's rewind this and see what it sounds like. I don't know if you heard it. While the microphone recording sounded acceptable, in the background you can still hear the music I just put in from the Zune HD, the Antarctic Moon. It's subtle, but obviously the erase system did not erase all of it. Try and listen past my voice to the previous music recording. I'm using an external mic with the Masterwork 404 cassette recorder from 1970, CBS or Columbia Records. A fairly cheap unit, I think. I don't know who made it. Not very good frequency response. It does have automatic level control. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So the erase system on this is failed somehow, the DC erase. It's not complete. Don't know what I could do about that, if anything. But I probably won't go any farther with this unit. It's interesting to have such an old unit in a box with all its paperwork. Certainly not a high quality cassette recorder from that era. Don't know who made it. Maybe it just suffered some abuse over the years, but still, it was an interesting thing for me to find and to get a new belt on it and to listen to it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. From 1970, this is the Masterwork M-404 cassette recorder. Thanks for watching. Bye.